Good morning and a very warm welcome to our webinar session, West Sweden Hike and Bike. My name is Kristina Steer and I'm the head of travel trade at Visit Sweden, and I'm placed in Stockholm, and the other participants of this webinar and all guests are at their home turf in West Sweden. I'm very happy that so many of you are joining us today from Austria, from Switzerland, from Germany, from the Netherlands, from France, from the UK, and from Belgium. So we are a big group of people today. I'm also happy that you would like to learn more about what West Sweden has to offer in terms of hike and bike. Today is a very special day for people in Sweden. It's actually the 4th of October, which means it's the yearly celebrated Kanelbullens dag, or cinnamon bun day. I have brought you some cinnamon buns today. This is how they look. And the cinnamon bun day is actually a special day, and it's actually reflecting an important lifestyle, Swedish lifestyle. Cinnamon buns are eaten a lot during a concept called fika that you might have heard of. And fika is actually a gathering with friends or family and colleagues where you have a strong coffee and also often eat some sweet pastry and often cinnamon buns. And it's not only having a coffee with friends or a sweet treat, but it's also where a lot of important decisions are taken in Sweden. So my tip for you is, if you ever send your customers or clients to Sweden, make sure to include a fika break in one of the beautiful coffee shops for your clients. But before we speak more about hike and bike in West Sweden, I would like to warm us up with a little quiz. So the first question: what is the name of this pastry? Is it wienerbröd? Is it kanelbulle? Or is it finsk pinne? You can actually see, if you're logging in from a computer, you can find the poll questions to the right, just underneath the chat function. So there you can actually answer this question. And the next question is, what do you think on this very special day, the 4th of October, Kanelbullens dag in Sweden, how many of these cinnamon buns are eaten in Sweden? Is it 2.7 million? Is it 1.5 million? Or is it 7 million cinnamon buns? So it will, the question will pop up soon, and then you will be able to answer that one as well. We can check the results later, but I can give you a hint. It's a lot of cinnamon buns eaten in Sweden today. But now it's time for me to hand over to my colleagues on the West Coast from the West Sweden Tourism Board, Ann-Charlotte Karlsson-Chevrier and Karin Gesuli. And if you have questions during this webinar, there's a chat function. Please drop down your questions in the chat and we will take them up later. So enjoy.
Thank you, Kristina, and a warm welcome to Gothenburg and West Sweden. I will just add a bit of information because it's only possible to answer one question at the time, I understood. So first, you answer what kind of pastry, and then next question, how many do you guess are we eating today? Well, anyway, so my name is Karin Gesuli and I work as a travel trade manager here at West Sweden Tourist Board. This is my colleague.
Mm-hmm. And I am Ann-Charlotte Karlsson, and now also Chevrier at the end. And I'm head of marketing and communication at the West Sweden Tourist Board. So I would actually start today with giving you an idea of where West Sweden is located. Here you can see the map of the West Sweden region. and you can see a contrast in the scenery and in the kind of nature. And if you look at the map, you see the gateway to this region is Gothenburg. And Gothenburg is a very compact city, a green city, where you can easily walk around. And there are also 1,000 bikes actually to hire in Gothenburg. And the public transport works really well. And Gothenburg just celebrated 400 years now. So it is a city with a mix of old and new. And you have a stunning archipelago very close to the city center. So you can actually take a tram or a bus and then onwards with a ferry. And that is not just what's green about Gothenburg. Gothenburg was actually for the 6th time in a row ranked as the world's most sustainable destination. And this is something we are very proud about, and you can read more about on gothenburg.com. And if you move away from Gothenburg, you have a beautiful coastline all the way to the Norwegian border, and that is the Bohuslän coast. It's said to be around 8,000 islands and a lot of quaint fishing villages. And this is where you head if you are a big fan of seafood and fish, etc. And you can even join the local fishermen or send your guests out to actually harvest the seafood. And if you move a little bit more inland, 1 hour from Bohuslän, you will end up in the province of Dalsland. And it's said to be the province with the most lakes and rivers in Sweden. And they are connected together, and you also have the beautiful Dalsland Canal going through the province out to Lake Vänern, which is actually our largest lake in Sweden, and I think it's number 3 in Europe. So it's a very big lake. And you also have a big moose population in Dalsland, and I think you will spot them if you're there. And in one of the pictures, you also see the famous 72-hour glass cabin. And that was a research that was made a few years ago to see the impact that nature actually have on the health, showing that nature is very important to us. And we still have the glass houses left in West Sweden if you want to send clients there. Finally, but not least, if you go east from Gothenburg, you have a very historical and a culture-rich area called Västergötland. And you see some examples what you would experience in this area. You see the Varnhem Abbey, which is parts of it is almost 800 years old. You also see the fairy tale castle of Läckö, just at Lake Vänern. And you see parts of the Göta Canal that we will hear more about, and it has an impressive of 58 locks. So imagine cycling and walking through those landmarks in these historic grounds. That is something special. And just to give you a picture of what this is all about, we will show you a short film from West Sweden.
What we are?
What West Sweden is?
I would say we're sightseeing.
And local guides.
Yeah.
We are
sorry.
We are romantic weekends. And
infinity pools.
Yeah, infinity pools. We are exclusive luxury.
And fine art.
We are yesterday.
And the everyday.
Yeah.
I would say we are. Oh, sorry. Wild nightlife. And
all inclusive.
Yeah. All inclusive, for sure.
We are morning swims.
And evening strolls. we are movements.
And moments.
And then I would say we're big city pals.
And I'd say suburban life.
We are West Sweden.
And yours to discover.
Yes, I hope you got an idea of what the contrast of what West Sweden is about to start with. And it's very important for us to say is that sustainability is a common thread through all our development and communication. And when we talk about this, one of the important things is that we are aiming for as little unnecessary environmental impact as possible. But we know that tourism has an impact, but we can try to reduce it through choices we make. For example, we work with the markets of Sweden and in Europe. We have stopped working in the long-haul destinations. And also the type of things we marketing. It's, for example, it's places, hiking, cycling that can be reached by public transport. And we also try to use the local food and other sustainable activities. And of course, what we do together should be good for both residents and visitors. Otherwise, it will not work. And another thing that we can actually do together, that Karin will talk about later as well, is steering visitors to places and periods that aren't already full. We think this is a very important thing we can do together. So ultimately, what do we want? Yes, of course, we want to have strong businesses in West Sweden, strong companies that can be open perhaps all year around and have full-time staff. So all this is part of the Tourist Board mobilization and business plan that we call Stepping Up Sustainability. So now we have over 600 businesses and 45 of 49 municipalities in West Sweden affiliated to this. So it's like a very strong movement we are doing together. So I would like to welcome back you, Karin, to talk a little bit more about those sustainable activities.
Thank you, Ann-Charlotte. Yeah, I would like to share a memory with you. For a couple of weeks ago, I was away on a farm trip in our region. Together with Visit Sweden, we were inviting an international group of tour operators. And as we sat on the train heading for Västergötland, after just a few kilometers, we were passing cows grazing in the fields, and glittering lakes, and traditional red and white Swedish cottages. And the reaction from the group was, wow, we only just left Gothenburg, and suddenly we're in deep countryside with wide open spaces and almost no people. Yeah, this is how it is here. It's so easy getting from the hustle and the bustle of city life in Gothenburg out to a peaceful green spaces by hopping on a train, a ferry, or a bus. And you know, only 3% of Sweden is inhabited. So just imagine how much space there is to enjoy. And here you see a map over hiking in West Sweden. And as Ann-Charlotte told us before, West Sweden is a region of 3 parts: Bohuslän, Dalsland, and Västergötland. And the hiking experience is very different in each of these areas. Our coastal area, Bohuslän, stretches from Gothenburg all the way up to the Norwegian border. And it's no less than 8,000 islands scattered along the coastline. And here you can hike on Kuststigen, the coastal path, or Bohuslän trail. Dalsland is our untouched wilderness area. It's also a region with one of the highest concentration of lakes. Here you can hike on pilgrim path North Dalsland. Västergötland is the largest area in West Sweden. It's a patchwork of forests and open cultural landscapes, dotted with medieval churches and castles. Here you have a wide selection of trails such as Gotaleden, the Biosphere Trail, and Pilgrim Path Falköping-Varnhem. And all these hiking and cycling trails that we are going to talk about today are qualified assured, regional and national routes. And there is an established network behind the development of these trails. We have 2 colleagues at West Sweden Tourist Board dedicated to working with this. Emmy, who works with hiking, and Henrik, who works with biking. And together with the Västkuststiftelsen Foundation, we have an overall regional responsibility for the development of trails. This means that with regional funding, we can offer good infrastructure, such as windbreaks, fireplaces, and trail markings. And with this setup, we will also be able to make access to the trails easy for both residents and guests, tourists. Let's continue to a selection of trails from our region. 2 of these, Kuststigen and Gotaleden, have hiking packages available through Evertrek, one of the DMCs that you will meet today. Kuststigen snakes along the west coast all the way up to Oslo, and it's made of 42 sections. Many of them are out on car-free islands, and they are easy to reach by ferry. And these ferries are also part of the public transportation network in West Sweden and are used every day, all year around, by the locals to commute to school and work. Gotaleden, one of Sweden's most easy-to-reach hiking trails, was inaugurated in 2019. The trail starts in the center of Gothenburg and finishes in Alingsås after 71 kilometers. It's easy to adapt the walk to suit yourself because the trail passes several train and bus stations. Despite being so near the city, you can soon be out in the middle of lots of lovely scenery. And you won't want to miss the view from Getryggen, which is the huge granite plateau with a grand view of Gothenburg's western side. The Biosphere Trail is a 140-kilometer long route hugging Lakes Vän and southern shore between Mariestad and Läck Castle. The trails goes through few villages and towns, with most of it running through beautiful countryside between historic sites. In 2010, the Lake Vänern freshwater archipelago with Kinnekulle was officially selected as a biosphere reserve by UNESCO. And now I would like to welcome one of our DMCs, our first guest today, an expert of hiking packages. And please tell us, Gunnar from Evertrek, a bit about your hiking packages at the Bohuslän coast and Gotaleden.
Thank you very much, Karin. First, shortly about Evertrek. We are a local operator here in Sweden, and I'm the owner of Evertrek. We offer both self-guided hiking tours and self-guided cycling tours around in Sweden, and we have our base here in West Sweden, so this is where we live and are experts, and we have our own fleet of bikes, etc. here, but I'm not going to talk about cycling today, only hiking. Let's see here. So, as said, we have both self-guided hiking tours, self-guided cycling tours, and we also do group tours on request. You can visit our website, evertrek.eu is the English version. Here you can see a few of our tours, but we also have tailor-made tours specifically for tour operators that suits you better, but you can have an ID here. And don't mix us up with the UK operator Evertrek that offers tours to Nepal. That's totally something else. I'm going to talk about two different hiking tours. Gotaleden, which Karin introduced you to, which is an inland trail that starts in Gothenburg, but also our tour West Sweden Island hiking that's also starts in Gothenburg. So both these tours start very easily access in Gothenburg and then takes you out to fantastic nature. So the West Sweden Island hiking takes you first up a bit north of Gothenburg to island of Marstrand, where you both stay at a very nice hotel with a wellness area, etc. And you hike on Marstrand Island with its fortress and lots of other interesting places. And after a nice night at the hotel there, then you take the ferry out to, I must admit, my favorite island in West Sweden, where me and my family go there at least 5-6 times every year. Dyrön. On one side of the island you have small nice beaches, and on the other side you have more very dramatic cliffs with fantastic views over other islands. After a couple of days in this area, your guests will have a private transfer a bit north to famous little village of Smögen, where you of course enjoy some great seafood and some great hikes. This tour, West Sweden Island hike, is 8 days, 7 nights, and you have 6 days of hiking. The last night you also return to Gothenburg, where you can either hike in the nature reserve just by the city, or you hike at the southern archipelago lakes. Well, then it's Gotaleden, also starts in Gothenburg, and then you have a total different scenery. You have inland, where you, fantastic forests and lakes, where you hike. A bit longer hikes every day, but you also arrive at nice places where you can relax and stay very comfortable and also enjoy the wellness in the evening. Many of our guests who book these tours, they also book some extra nights in Gothenburg, either just to explore the city or to continue to hike the southern archipelago, which can look like this, and also to rent a bike from us or something. Yeah, that's about that. A short peek of our favorite hiking tours in West Sweden.
Great. Gunnar, please stay a bit. I was just wondering, is there any questions coming in the chat? Kristina, do we have any questions for Gunnar? And if we don't, I would like to ask you, because you said your favorite island is Dyrön, and you're going to these very nice islands along the coast, but how is it? We're striving for more people where and when it's not full. So, for instance, when can you go there? Can you go there as early as in the end of April or the beginning of May? Is it even possible?
It is. We offer this tour from April until the end of September. We had the last group of hikers actually that ended up in the beginning of October. So everything is open to walk, and the hotels and everything. Not all small cafes and restaurants on the coast are open, of course, but it's very nice. You still have some people to meet at all the hotels, but then on the hikes on the islands, etc., you're more on your own.
Is it possible then to provide the guest with picnic or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much, Gunnar. And we will, of course, provide information about all the detailed contacts to your packages and to you as well.
Thank you, Karin.
Thank you. All right, let's continue. We're going to talk a bit about cycling in West Sweden. So, about cycling in West Sweden, well, we have 7 national cycle trails in Sweden, and 5 of them runs through parts of West Sweden. The Kattegatt Trail, which starts in Helsingborg and finishes in Gothenburg. The Ätredal Trail, which goes through West Sweden between Falköping and Falkenberg. The Unionsleden Trail, starting in Moss in Norway and has sections that pass through Dalsland in West Sweden, ending in Karlstad in Värmland. The Vänerleden, the trail that loops all the way around Lake Vänern. Approximately half of the trail is in West Sweden and the other half is in Värmland. The national trail, which follows almost the entire Göta Kanal, was inaugurated this year and stretches between Sjötorp here in West Sweden and Mem in Östergötland. As I mentioned earlier, that we have 2 colleagues here at West Sweden Tourist Board who works with trail development. Before this meeting, I was speaking with my colleague Henrik, and he said he's responsible for the cycling development. And he said that right now they continue to work with developing trails, and they are now going to tie these trails together so that we will be able to connect and do detours. For instance, we will be a connection between Gothenburg and Falköping, and you will have a whole new possibilities of detours and build a range of cycling packages for guests. Now, let's take a look at some of the cycle trails in our region. Göta Kanal is one of Sweden's most child-friendly cycle routes because the whole route is along car-free paths, which are almost entirely flat. There is always lots to see along the canal, and the trail is 220 kilometers in total, so it's a good job that there are plenty of rest areas as well. The Ätredal Trail, another 200-kilometer stretch, run from Falköping in the north to Falkenberg in the south, where it connects to Kattegattleden. The Ätredal Trail is the cycle route for anyone who enjoys good food, culture, and history. Along it, you can explore rural Sweden with its typical red and white painted cottages and rich countryside. Vänerleden Trail is a spectacular cycle path looping around Sweden's largest lake, Vänern. The total length is 640 kilometers, but you can of course cycle shorter sections. Along this trail, there are plenty of opportunities to stop and to enjoy Swedish fika, take a refreshing dip in the sea, or simply take a breather and enjoy a beautiful view. Now, Ann-Charlotte, you're going to introduce us to gravel cycling in Dalsland.
Yes, I am, Karin. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dalsland is Sweden's gravel cycling destination. That is one of the news for next year as well. They have started in Dalsland, but it will be a big news we will tell the world about next year. And why is it a good gravel destination? Yes, of course, it has so many gravel routes that are so accessible, and you hardly cycle on asphalt at all when you cycle there. And it's more or less car-free, which gives great opportunity as well. Another thing that we talked about Dalsland are all the lakes. It is the natural scenery. There's so many lakes that you often cycle near the lakes, and it's a nice change from cycling through forest that you have the lakes as well. And which Eric will tell you about a little bit more, you have small accommodation in many of those places. And just for your information, that we do have information already on gravel cycling in Swedish, English, German and Dutch, and we will, if needed, translate it into more languages. So it's also something we will have as a press news item to the press for next year. So that will also help the awareness. But someone who knows much more about this than I do is a very keen cyclist, Eric. So I give the word to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ann-Charlotte. Hi, everyone. Really nice to meet all of you. My name is Erik Josefsson. I run a company called the Dalsland Experience. And our goal is to elevate the experience of a trip to Dalsland. And we do this by adding our local knowledge to our trips, which vastly improves your rides and also adds the possibility to access our private and secret hidden spots and favorite sites. I would like to start, before we talk a little bit about this package, I would like to start talk a little bit more about what it's like to ride gravel in Dalsland. As Ann-Charlotte said, we have an amazing web of roads in Dalsland, gravel roads. And the possibilities are almost endless. So you can ride 100k a day for 7 days and almost never be on the same road twice. So the scenery is stunning. There's a lot of lakes. You're riding countryside, and just a couple of minutes later, you're riding lakeside riding, and 5 minutes later, you're in a deep forest. So it's a great variation in nature and very stunning scenery. Rolling hills, somewhat of a challenge sometimes, but that's a part of the trip. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about an example of a trip. We have the Lake District, a gravel experience. This is a weekend trip, and we focus here on the experience. No rush, many stops, take your time, enjoy the scenery. Breakfast and dinner is included in the trip. You have bike rental options as well. You stay at a high-end bed and breakfast, and this is aimed at the beginners to intermediate riders. We also have midweek gravel exploring. This package is a little bit more aimed at the gravel experience, a little bit more trails, a little bit more focus on gravel exploring. It's in the middle of the week. It's at a very nice hotel, Baldersnäs, with also fine dining. Breakfast and dinner are included, and you have a guide for 1 day and then GPX files and maps to see places on your own the rest of the days. And what is new for 2024? We are going to add some e-bike tours. We're also adding some trips along Unionsleden and Vänerleden, which are running through Dalsland. We're also adding training weekends for groups. So that will be some of the news for next year. And some contact information. You can find us on the web at thedalslandexperience.com and on Instagram, of course. And please feel free to read our reviews on Google. That might give you a little bit of an insight on what we're doing. Okay, I think that was it.
Thank you so much. And we will get back to you with some questions later on. Thank you, Erik. Now I would like to introduce you to a DMC that is actually sitting from home and from Ulricehamn. Hi, Lena. Hi, Lena.
Hi there.
Hi, now we can hear you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. And Lena, you have bike packages at Ätradalsleden, and you do have bike packages of Sjuhäradsrundan, a local trail in the region of Borås and Ulricehamn. And we're of course curious about you and your company Outdoor Support. Please tell us more.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here with you from my home. I'm running a company called Outdoor Support. And we are an activity company where we offer several of outdoors activities. Hiking, cycling, canoeing, kayaking, outdoor cooking. And we also packages activities together with accommodation. Perhaps you can even spend a night in the outdoor if you want. And we had together with food and other services. Yeah, cycling package was for now. We offer cycling packages of varying length in the inland. 100 kilometers east from Gothenburg. Some are just a day and some are long as 5 days. For example, we have package on Sjuhäradsrundan, an almost completely paved cycle path of totally 150 kilometers. Sjuhäradsrundan is mostly on old railway track, completely car-free, except for a few kilometers. Ätradalsleden is Sweden's 5th national cycling trail. The whole trail is 200 kilometers, and about half of it is car-free on the old railway embankment. The rest is small country roads winding in this way through a beautiful and varied landscape. When you choose one of our package, you will get experience of our beautiful varying landscape, such a historical and culture countryside, open landscapes, lakes, marshland, hills and cliffs, all in one package. And along the way, you are always interesting stops to make with historical facts or stunning nature. Our package include good accommodation, meals and luggage transportation. Accommodations vary between hotels, bed and breakfast, and sometimes even hostels. We focus more on quality and comfort than luxury. Sustainability as well as locally produced food are also important for us when choosing accommodations. Some package start and finish on the same place, like Sjuhäradsrundan, where you can park your car or go to by bus. Others, like Ätradalsleden, where you go from one place to another, have extensive public transportation, which make it easy to travel to and from. My goal is to have something for everyone, and the high comfort of our package makes them suitable for almost all age groups, families, friend groups, or couples. We also offer rental bicycles, both regular and electric, and trailers for children to make it easy for everyone to join. In reality, most of my guests are middle-aged and active older people. As of today, our guests are from Sweden, but also from Norway and Denmark. My hope is to reach more people in Europe mainly, as I would love to share our beautiful surroundings with more people.
Thank you so much, Lena. So nice.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Please stay, because and I would like to welcome Erik and up for a presentation, and because we would like to ask you some questions afterwards. But first, Erik, you will tell us a bit about cycling along Göta Kanal,
Yes.
and also a bit about Ätredalsleden. You come from Upplevelsepaket.
Yes.
Please tell us. We
Yeah,
would like
fantastic.
to more about cycling.
Yeah, super nice. Thank you. So nice to be here. And to be honest, I've had a bit struggle to find a perfect wording for upplevelsepaket, because it's such a Swedish put together word. And you could say it's worry-free packages. You could say that it's a travel experience packages, but it's mainly pick a date and we take care of the rest. It's something for you who really want to have harmony in your traveling, and that's what we are all about. We have been around since the 1990s, before I was born, and it's still run by the siblings Urban and Yvonne today. So we have great experiences in this area. And we are based in Töreboda, in a fantastic place just outside of Göta Kanal. And here you can come by car, train or bus, and you're very welcome. All our travels are very unique. We have put them together and built them around local expertise. So they are really giving you a genuine and nice experience. And that's what this is all about. You can see all of our packages on our website, and you can choose, and we have a broad variety. We have about 20 packages where you can find and you can choose, and you can put together and experience the best of the West Sweden. They are mainly built around cycling, but they have many great elements by walking, some experiences by rail bike, by boat, and by railroad. And you can go by any of them, and we like to combine them so you can get some rest from the cycling, but also because some areas you have to be able to walk to experience the most of it. So we want to put together the best of it all. Göta Kanal is a fantastic area, and it's hand dug by a lot of people in the 1830s. So it's been around for a long time, and it's got some fantastic historic areas that you can travel to. When you pick a package, you surf in at our website and you just find a destination, and we recommend that you first look at the length of the trip. We have a different variety of lengths, but you can go for 2 days up to 7 days, and we have different options in the packages where you can choose between where you want to go, but also what you want to do on the packages. We want to give you some kind of freedom in the packages where you can put a part and you can do something extraordinary for where your interest lies. So if you're interested in historic tours of maybe Läckö Slott, we have fantastic packages for that. If you are interested in more cycling, we have more of that. If you're interested in boats, we have some more packages that combine that. And all of them are put together to give you a fantastic experience and really give the perfect combination of some movement and also relaxation. You can have we have a lot of options during this trip where you can rent electric bikes, you choose extra nights, you can upgrade if you want to have something more on the trip. And we have a lot of things in the packages where we think where you get accommodation, but we give you breakfast and we give you one meal because we want you to explore and experience the areas you are in at the different areas. And there are such cozy areas, fantastic routes, and you really get to see the best part about Sweden, I think. And I think you're very welcome, and I think we have a season from May to the end of September. So you can really choose and very where you can be here at any time. And feel free to activate Harmony with us and experience some fantastic areas.
Thank you so much, Erik.
Thank you.
And please stay, because we're going to have some questions to you guys. And I'm going to, and also Lena, if you're with us.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a question. I think that's it's interesting for everyone, and I would like to ask you all: are these packages that you have, are they shelf products, or could they also be developed into special arrangements for the tour operators? So let's start with you.
Yeah, we have both of them. So you can go in and you can pick our expertise and our choosings, but you can vary it at any
you
time
can
you
make
want.
them
Yeah,
tailor-made.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and
great.
That's
Thank
the
you.
good thing.
And Evertrek, how is it with you when your packages?
Same here. We can tailor-made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
And Eric?
we in Deutschland we have a lot. We have some off the shelf, but we work a lot of with high customization of trips. So we're used to work a lot of with the customization for specific groups and customers.
Great to know. And how about you, Lena?
It's the same here.
Same.
It's same here.
Yeah.
We are very flexible, and we can make it for everyone's for
What they want. Yeah.
yeah.
Great to know. And also, we had a question for you, Gunnar, in the chat before, and that was about if you had set dates on your trip.
Well, for normally we have arrival any day of the week, which you want, but to be honest, for Gotaleden, it's also recommended to start a few days per week, depending on when restaurants are open at small places, etc. And also on West Sweden Island hike, we have a couple of days per week that's not possible due to accommodation situation up in Smögen. So almost.
Yeah. All right. And another question I would like to ask the whole group is if it's possible to make group arrangements as well. We can start with you, Lena.
It's possible.
Yeah.
We had some larger. We have groups for a couple of times, but we don't have so big accommodations. So it's a little
smaller accommodations in your area. So smaller groups then. Yeah. Okay.
But up to 15, 17 persons is okay. We can handle that. Yeah.
Great. And you, Eric?
Yeah, it's a little bit depending on what time of year. In the high season, you really have to have booked a long ways in ahead.
When you say high season?
When after midsummer, in the end of June until second week in August, then you need to book a bit in advance. But before that and after that, we have a very high accessibility for groups.
Great.
And I would say it's probably the best time to visit as well.
Great. Gunnar? Groups.
Groups. That was the question. Yeah, we do groups as well for by requests and needs. Yeah.
Great to know. And how about you?
Yeah, it's the same here.
It's the same. Great to know. Well, there might be more questions, and I think we're happy to answer all the questions in person and I would say in a Teams meeting with you guys. So I hope that you will stay in contact with us, because we will of course provide with all the information how to contact all our DNC after this webinar. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now I would like to welcome up my colleague Ann-Charlotte as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Karin.
Yes, you will tell us a bit more about how we promote hiking and biking in West Sweden, and also how we do it together with the tour operators.
Yeah. So very briefly, when you have a product in West Sweden, we do joint collaborations with tour operators. So we look at what we can do together to reach out. But we also do campaigns in most of our foreign markets. And then we highlight the cycling and biking on the campaign site, but also all the tour operators selling packages to West Sweden, they are on the top of those campaign sites. So we're trying to attract visitors to the site through these campaigns and then to drive them out to your websites. That's a very important thing we do when we do the marketing. And West Sweden, we have it in 6 languages now, and we're just about to launch a French version in November. So we're going to have it in 7 languages. And a very important part of our work is, of course, to invite the press. So together with Visit Sweden, we invite about 80 to 100 journalists every year to West Sweden to get the tailor-made program and to experience what the hiking and the biking and other things, the local food, the fika, etc. And we will continue to do that, and we always try. If we have a package that match with what they are writing about, we always want a tour operator's package in the fact box to actually generate bookings from the marketing we do. So I'll hand over to you again, Karin.
Yeah, well, both of us would like to thank you so much, all of you that's been listening today. And we will, of course, like to have separate meetings, maybe on Teams, with all of you that are interested in hiking and biking and develop packages with us here in West Sweden. And Kristina, you will provide all the participants with contact details, right?
Yes, that's right.
Great.
So we will send out an email to you with all the contact details. I know there has been some specific questions about the group sizes as well that our local experts can cater for. So you can, I will try to include that in the email, but you can of course then also reach out to each and everyone if you have very specific questions.
Thank you. And thank you so much for us, and thank you for listening. We would like to say bye from West Sweden.
Yes,
hope to see you
and
soon.
I would also like to thank everybody now. It's Kristina again. I was here the whole time, even though you maybe didn't see me. Very interesting session. Thank you so much. I hope that you all, wherever you're sitting out there in Europe, you also found it inspiring and interesting, and very beautiful pictures. I feel like, I want to go, especially also during this beautiful autumn and maybe early summer. It's a great season to visit West Sweden and Sweden in general. And I know maybe some of you, I feel I owe you the answer for the post questions. So actually, the first question was the name of the pastry, and I think almost everybody got it right. The name is kanelbulle. And the second questions, I think 58% of the people were right answering the poll. It's actually 7 million kanelbullar, so cinnamon buns, eaten in Sweden today. Actually, we have here at the Visit Sweden office, we have a fika in this afternoon where we enjoy it together. And I know maybe some of you have now a desire to try baking them themselves because it's not so easy to get them. So I will actually paste a recipe in the chat here. So if anybody is interested in trying to bake them themselves tonight or this weekend, feel free. They are delicious. So with that, I would like to thank everybody and wishing everybody a nice day, and goodbye from Stockholm.